And my team tonight, we're going to give you information and hope to answer any questions and address any concerns that you may have about the Reindeer Water Project. This evening, we have a team of experts here to share information regarding the Reindeer Water Project. We're going to again answer any questions. We will talk about the infrastructure problems that you may have been experiencing with your water, the plan to correct these issues, and finally, we'll discuss our communication strategy. Before we get started with this history, I'd like to give you a little knowledge or acknowledge the commissioners of this district, District 2 and District 6, and thank them for the support they've given us with this project. Commissioner Raider and Commissioner Terry have both been instrumental and have given great support in our efforts to improve and upgrade our infrastructure. For those who may be new to DeKalb or those who don't know a great deal about watershed, let me take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we do. We serve about 800,000 people in DeKalb. We're allowed to take in as much as 128 million gallons of water per day from the Chattahoochee River to treat this water for drinking. We're currently averaging about 70 million gallons per day of drinking water to the county's homes and businesses. We receive and treat about 56 million gallons per day of sewer water from the homes and businesses. And we treat and release this water to the river for others to use. All water and sewer is conveyed using DeKalb's more than 5,000 miles of water and sewer pipe that stretch throughout DeKalb County. If this pipe was extended from end to end, pipe in to pipe in, that's enough pipe to go from Georgia all the way to California and back. Next slide. Why is the county replacing this water line? Some of the water line here is more than 60 years of age and have by far outlived its designed life. Once we replace this, we will reduce pipe main breaks and improve service, and this will yield a better DeKalb for the future to come. To accomplish this task, we've dedicated a full team for this project to include every needed resource from DeKalb County and several industry-leading engineering firms and construction firms who will be led by DeKalb County's own Watershed Management Engineering Department. We're doing this because we hope that we know that this will allow a timely, safe, successful project that's going to be on budget. So from here, we're going to hand off to the project manager, the program administrator, Ms. Cassandra Marshall. She will tell you a bit about how we've gotten here and what we plan to do to resolve this situation. Ms. Marshall.
Thank you, Director Hayes. Good evening. My name is Cassandra Marshall. I am the program administrator for capital improvement projects for Watershed Management. I'm responsible for managing the DWM construction management staff and overseeing the CIP program. In these next few slides, I will provide an overview of the system problems and our solution to repairing the aging water system. The problem. In the Reindeer area, the county has been faced with 58 water main breaks from 1989 to 2021. We have also had 22 complaints about brown water or low water pressure issues. Brown water is an indication of sediment or rust accumulation in the water main over time. It can also be present after a water main break which stirs up deposits in the system. Therefore, we must thoroughly flush the main after the break or disruption to remove any deposits. The infrastructure in this area is an aged system. This is primarily due to the infrastructure being installed in the 1960s. The pipe material in this area is primarily cement and small quantities of galvanized pipe. The lifespan for this pipe is 60 years and is at the end of its useful life. The number of pipe failure increases with time and is a good indicator that the pipe is in need of replacement. Next slide. The county has over 3,000 miles of pipe in the water system to maintain and to provide drinking water to the ratepayers. We also have 4 pressure zones, 21 water storage facilities, 16 pump stations, and 6 pressure regulating stations. As you can see, this is a large system to maintain. Most of the system is aged and cannot be repaired or replaced all at once. Therefore, the county had to develop a best practice way to evaluate and prioritize how and when the piping will be replaced. The first objective was to model the system. In 2019, the county developed its first hydraulic model. A hydraulic water model is a computer simulation of how the water system behaves. The model can provide a big picture look at how the system should be functioning. For example, it provides details such as system pressures, available water at fire hydrants, and how the water tank level affects the system. Next slide. Since we cannot replace the aged infrastructure all at one time, we developed a risk-based project prioritization assessment to determine the remaining useful service life of each pipe. This is currently being utilized as a guide to develop a suitable, proactive plan for the distribution system. Risk prioritization is the process of determining which risk you should act upon first. It is based on the likelihood of a risk and the impact that it would make if the asset fails. During this process, the county analyzed all water mains from sizes 4 inches to 16 inches, which is the entire distribution system. Each water main was assigned a risk score. In addition, we evaluated local hydraulic capacity for all fire hydrants in the water system. These were also assigned a local hydraulic improvement score. Combining these factors along with other parameters, water main replacement projects were ranked by priority. Next slide. To this point of the presentation, you've heard about the problem. I will now speak to the solution and the execution of the CIP project. What does CIP stand for? CIP, or Capital Improvement Project, is a project that helps maintain or improve an asset. It can either be new construction, an expansion, renovation, or replacement of an existing infrastructure. Last year, the Board of Commissioners approved a new CIP program for $2.4 billion for projects to be completed from 2021 to 2030. The Reindeer Water Main Replacement Project is a $10 million project that is included within that plan. My team, the CIP team, is responsible for getting the capital work done. My team includes 4 DWM construction managers and 12 licensed inspectors. Along with in-house staff, we are also supported by consultant firms who help assist the county with construction management and inspection services. We want you to know that we're here to help. We want to reduce or eliminate emergency repairs. We want to stop the breaks. We want to protect the environment. And finally, after this project is complete, it will improve sustainability to the system. These improvements should last for a minimum of 70+ years. You will now hear from Ms. Tiffany Simpson about the project scope and overview.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tiffany Simpson, and I am the project manager for this project. My role for this project is to work closely with our design consultants during the design phase. Next slide. Just to give you a bit of an overview, the scope of work includes the construction and installation of a total of about 20,000 linear feet of pipe. That includes a new 8-inch ductile iron pipe and replacing also some 16-inch ductile iron pipe. If you look at the map, it includes, will be impacting about 300 to 400 residents, and it will include the following streets: Mary Lane, Christmas Lane, North Druid Hills, Holly Lane, Pine Tree Circle, Jody Lane, Bramble Road, and Reindeer Drive. Next slide. Also, some of the work that is planned, you'll see mobilization of equipment and materials. We'll be establishing traffic control, saw cutting of existing asphalt, installation of new water mains, establishing new water services, decommissioning old water mains and services, and then there'll be final restoration. I will hand it back over to Cassandra Marshall, as she will give more detail into the construction aspect of the project.
Thank you, Tiffany. This part of the presentation was supposed to be done by one of my construction manager, Mr. Eduardo Amasquita. However, he is out sick tonight. I will deliver this part of the presentation on his behalf. Mr. Amasquita is one of your primary county contacts. Mr. Amasquita has over 20 years plus of construction management experience and is a licensed water professional. Next slide. The method of construction for this project is open cut. We will first come in, saw cut the road. The contractor will begin digging the trench after utilities are located and called in, and we'll start installing the new water main. At the end of the day, the trench will be backfilled. And after all of the pipe work is installed, the contractor will perform a pressure test on the pipe, and then disinfection of the main will occur. Once disinfection is complete, we will connect all water services to the new main. Asphalt paving will be the last item to be done. This will be done in phases as streets are completed. Next slide. The duration of the project is approximately a year. This is a very snippet schedule overview of the project. Community notices went out on May 4th. Preparation and mobilization began today by the contractor. The construction is scheduled to start tomorrow. And final restoration, ending with some paving work, will be in April 4th of 2023, with the final construction being done in April 20th of 2023. And this is all weather dependent and site condition dependent. Next slide. So my construction team are the boots on the ground. We're the first line of contact for the project. From the first day of commencement, the DWM inspectors and construction management team will be on site to ensure the construction activities, which include ensuring that erosion and sediment control measures are in place, ensuring that the contractor installing the pipe according to the contract documents, and ensuring that all safety measures and traffic control measures are being followed. We will also make sure that all trenches and holes are backfilled and secured at the end of the day. Next slide. This slide is a before and after look of what the area is going to look like during construction and after final restoration is complete. The picture to your left depicts a typical construction site or work zone, and the picture to the right depicts the final product after all the work is complete. Paving restoration will only occur on the lane in which the pipe has been installed. Next slide. At this time, I will now address community concerns and what the community should expect. So what to expect? Unfortunately, what comes with construction are inconveniences in which we plan to try to minimize. What you're going to see is a lot of construction traffic, foot and vehicles, large dump trucks and heavy equipment. There will be construction workers, county employees, and contracted workers throughout your communities. There will be material and equipment deliveries by means of large tractor trailers. The crews and flaggers will guide these large vehicles in and out of the community. What also comes with working in the area is the parking issue. There will be vehicles parked alongside the streets and alongside the work zone. Work zones will be delineated by means of orange cones and barrels. In addition, as a security measure, all county contractors and county employees will have an identification badge and marked vehicles. There will be increased noise from the equipment backup alarms, heavy equipment usage, and saw cutting of the asphalt. Our typical work hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and sometimes weekends. However, digging and large equipment usage will be limited to 8 to 5 near homes. Residents will have access to their driveway during constructions, and notification will be distributed prior to any water service disruption. One last item, you will see silt on the street. If dust or silt is tracked on the streets, the contractor will be responsible for keeping the streets clean and swept daily. Next slide. Construction yard signage will be clearly and carefully placed to alert communities of streets affected by construction. The sign at the bottom left of the screen is an example of a sign we require our contractors to install prior to starting work in the area. These signs are to be placed in the view of the line of traffic and on every street impacted at a minimum of 72 hours prior to start of construction. The contractor will also have vehicles on site marked with either a company logo or a DeKalb County contractor sign. On the bottom right is an example of a generic county contractor sign to be placed on unmarked company vehicles. Other vehicles will have their company's logos. All cars on the county project site must be marked and identifiable as a security measure. Next slide. The contractor will provide traffic control to guide residents through the construction zone. We will also have a message board, such as the sign shown on the slide, located at the intersection of North Druid Hills and La Vista Road at a minimum of a week before construction begins. You will now hear from Ms. Alicia Penny about public communications.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Penny, and I am the Public Relations Manager responsible for communications and outreach for the department. Tonight, I will share with you the methods DWM will utilize to communicate with you about this project. Leading up to tonight's meeting, you received a notification letter describing the details of the project and informing you of tonight's meeting. Going forward, 48 to 72 hours before the beginning of construction, each homeowner will receive a door hanger like the one you see here, which will tell you the hours of work and what to expect during construction. We will also use the GovDelivery e-blast notification service to communicate with you. So at this point, if you've not done so, would you please take a moment now to provide us with your email address in the chat so that we can capture that information to be used for future communications. Listed here, these are the touch points we will use to communicate. First, we have the project hotline, which includes a 1-800 number and email address. We also have a dedicated web page for the project, which has tonight's presentation posted there as well as other project information. We will also use Twitter and Facebook social media platforms to share updates on the project. We will also use the news release. We will use news releases as well as the county's weekly newsletter entitled The Relay to share information as needed. Other ways we will connect with you, we'll use DCTV, which is DeKalb County Television, the Nextdoor platform, project signs, which you saw samples or examples of what those signs may look like, our contractors, and frequently asked questions, which will also be posted to the website. Listed here, you will find key contact information for the project. Most important is our dedicated project hotline and email address. Also listed here are the contact names of the engineering and construction team for the project. Finally, we have our 24-hour dispatch number listed here if an emergency arises outside of normal business hours. And with that, this concludes our presentation. We thank you for your time this evening, and we will now move into the question and answer period of the presentation. Prior to tonight's meeting, we did receive several questions from the community, which I want to share with you those questions now, as well as our responses to those questions. One of the questions that was asked was, what is the schedule for starting work on North Holly Lane? And our answer is work is scheduled to begin tomorrow on North Holly Lane. Holly Lane is estimated to be completed within 30 days. After Holly Lane is completed, we will move to North Holly Lane. So let me correct that. The work will start tomorrow on Holly Lane, and then that work will be on Holly Lane for 30 days, and then it will move to North Holly Lane. Make that correction. The second question we received, are the replacement pipes being laid alongside the existing pipes, mostly parallel to the street? The answer to that is the pipes will be installed in the roadway approximately 3 feet from the edge of the curb. The existing pipe is within the right-of-way off of the road. Third question, how far will trenching to lay the new pipes encroach on our front yard? The answer is none. All pipe work will be installed in the road. Some digging will be done around the meters. Next question, should we move the landscaping around our mailbox in expectation of imminent construction? The answer to that question is no. Next question, there's a water main on the right side of the driveway, and there are several small trees around it. Will they be removed? The answer to that first part of the question is no. The second part of the question was, will they be replaced after the water line is laid? And the answer is we are not removing the line. All right. Next question. As senior citizens, we are concerned about ingress and egress on our driveway during the work on our property. We assume the driveway will be cut to allow placement of the new water pipe. With construction work on our street parking will be very limited. The answer to this is you will have access to your driveway at all times. When work is occurring in front of your driveway, we will have a flagger to get you in and out of your driveway. The next question, will we receive adequate notice when work will take place on our property, meaning 48 to 72 hours? The answer is yes. Will work on our property interfere with mail delivery? And the answer is no, it will not interfere with that mail delivery. The next question, when will water disruptions occur? Will the water be cut off when the new pipe is laid, or does all the pipe in the area need to be in place before the water flow is diverted to the new lines? The answer to that is anytime we plan for water service disruption, we will notify you within 48 to 72 hours of the disruption. If an outage occurs and you were not notified, this means the contractor has hit an unmarked line by accident, but we will be working hard to restore service as quickly as possible. Next question, will we be notified in a timely manner about the changeover and precautions about water quality usability in the transition? The answer is yes, 72 hours in advance. The final question that we received was, this is predominantly Orthodox Jewish neighborhood, and cooking and preparations for the Sabbath, Friday night to Saturday night, take place on Thursdays and Fridays and require access to water. Will this concern be respected during this project and in the transition to the new water lines? Our answer is we do not plan to have any outages during this time unless we accidentally hit an unmarked utility. And let me go to the chat to see if there are
In the chat,
questions.
we do have a couple of questions. The first has already been answered, but I'll re-answer it again. Will construction work block any access to homes or driveways? We do have to cross your driveways, but there will be a flagger there and you will be allowed in and out of the driveway as needed until they pass that driveway on to the next. So we do not plan on blocking or holding anyone in their home or away from their home. Is there a projected schedule of dates when individual streets will be impacted? I live on Reindeer Drive specifically. We'll allow the construction company to answer that. Yes, they do have a schedule of locations they plan on being in. That schedule should be followed, but there may be some things that may alter that schedule slightly, such as weather or other utilities in the area. So can one of the contractors answer that?
Monty or Alessandra, that was when they're going to be on Reindeer. When are you going to be on Reindeer? You have to unmute him.
Hold on, Monty's getting onto his device.
So while we wait for Monty, next question, will construction affect sidewalks? Ms. Simpson says, no, we don't plan on being on the sidewalks. We only plan on having the construction in the roadway, in the asphalt. Brambleton Road has no sidewalks. Children walking to and from home approximately 8:15 and 8:30 a.m. and 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. daily. What will the county do to secure their safety? Would the team care to answer that?
So we use orange barrels to kind of zone off the work zone. Beyond that, Alessandro, do we have any other thing we plan on that we can help?
Yes, we will have full traffic control crews on every road. And once we kind of get used to the ebb and flow of traffic in there, we'll be able to accommodate, buses, kids, whatever needs to be accommodated through the work zone. We're very good at making sure people got complete access to their neighborhood, their homes, and everything's very safe. It'll go a lot smoother than you think.
So has
Hey,
Monty?
can y'all hear me now?
Yes, Monty.
I'm sorry. I have trouble getting unmuted. As far as the schedule, tomorrow we're having crews start on North Druid Hills, and at Holly Lane at North Druid Hills, we'll have a second crew, and then Brambley and Jody. So we'll have 4 crews starting tomorrow on those 4 streets, and those 4, Brambley and Jody will start at La Vista and come toward Holly. And by that time, our Holly crew will be down past them and we can connect all that. And then we'll continue on and finish up North Holly, and then finish up the rest of Holly. And then we'll move to Christmas, then Mary, and let's see, and we'll have Reindeer in there, and then Pine Tree. So we're kind of moving from the outside in and toward the corner of North Druid Hills and Briarcliff for the main reason is just for the connections of the water and get people on the new water system as fast as we can.
Do you have a projected date or window for Holly, for our Reindeer? It was one of the, it was next to last or third from last to enter.
Yeah, we, with rain and everything, I can tell you that within, we do like 120 feet a day. So that's hard for y'all to understand, but it's going to take about 30 days to finish Holly and probably each road after that 30 to 45 days to get to Reindeer. So you're probably looking at the fall toward Reindeer.
Next question I see that pipes have been delivered all over the community already. Will some of these pipes be sitting out there for months before they get in place?
They will, in certain areas, they'll be moving pretty quickly. With 4 crews and maybe a 5th starting in a couple of weeks, those piles will start moving out of there pretty quickly. But we do have pipes stored for the whole project. So we plan on utilizing them as quickly as we can.
There's another comment. Kids will be on Jody too. So as Monty mentioned, kids are, the community safety is high priority. We will definitely make sure that there are flaggers, they're controlling traffic, and the construction crew will have everything cornered off, roped off to prevent any non-construction people from coming inside the construction site when and if and all possible.
Correct.
Do you have an estimated start date for Jody Road?
Jody will start tomorrow.
Will our water pressure be affected long-term? Actually, your water pressure should not be impacted on a daily basis. We should only impact your water once it's time to connect that actual whole section of pipe that has been installed, pressure test, and sanitized. When we are ready to connect that particular pipe to the system, the residents will be notified that this is the section of the community that will be impacted by this tie-in. And a tie-in shouldn't last very long. How long do you anticipate a tie-in, Monty? About an hour?
Well, you got it. The tie-ins run from anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. It depends on the drainage. So we have to cut the lines in 2 and drain the ditch. And we have pretty much the cement in place and everything prepped before we cut that water off. We don't cut it off until we're ready to cut the line and drop everything in place. So it could be 2 hours. I always tell people 3, just give me, just in case something happens, you know. But that will be one of those 72-hour notice things that we let everybody know about.
So this is from Nick. Are you utilizing a hand raise function or a chat only? Nick, we would prefer that you put your comment or your question in the chat. That way we can definitely get to it and have record of it. So if you would mind, please, yes, let's use the chat. If you don't have the ability to use the chat, Nick, then yes, we will use the hand raise method, but we prefer the chat.
Director Hayes, he did place his question in the chat, on down in the list.
Okay.
Okay.
Question 2, thank you for being respectful on the Sabbath. I saw the proposal to include non-work zones on from 6 p.m. Friday through 6 p.m. Saturday. It is included. It also included a non-work day for Passover. Could you please consider Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for further no work days? We will definitely be respectful to the community and the days that you honor and cherish. The work crews have received the schedule of those days, and we'll definitely do everything that we can to respect those days, those holidays. But mind you, if there is an emergency, if there is a break or something beyond our control, we will be in there to correct that emergency, but we will do it respectfully and try to get out there as soon as possible to, again, respect all holidays and special events. Is there a schedule for all streets that can be shared? We have a tentative schedule, but this schedule is predicated on how the work goes. If there's any issue that we come up against, such as locate, piping issue, other utilities in the area that have concerns or issues that we have to work around. So it's not an exact schedule. We can only give you a window. And as Monty mentioned, we plan on trying to install approximately 150 foot of pipe daily. And that's how we're going to move from location to location. Anything else you'd like to share on that, Monty?
No, that's it. Some days are better than others, you know, it's just that's an average footage, but
And I'd like to just add for clarity, that's 150 foot per crew. And we're gonna have 4 crews in there every day. So we're gonna really try and have that schedule. I'm not making any promises, but if I can get out of there in 4 to 6 months, I'm gonna try and do it for you guys.
Yes. And this is all predicated on what's under the ground. We have no idea also what's under the ground. So it's unknown. We don't know what we will run into, but this crew is a professional crew. They've done this for quite some time. They're very experienced, and we have the utmost confidence that they will get in and out as quickly as possible. Can you provide the link to the website where this recording and other information will be? Ms. Penny?
Yes, the webpage will be live tomorrow. And what we will do is we will, for those of you that have provided your email addresses, we will send the link out to everyone so that you'll have a direct link to that page.
Thank you. Are we allowed, encouraged, or discouraged from engaging the workers in conversation, offering cold or hot drinks, etc., when they are by our homes? We do encourage you to steer clear of the work sites, the heavy equipment, and the workers when they're there. We truly appreciate you wanting to take care of them. That is very gracious of you. But to ensure safety, it is best to steer clear and stay a distance from the workers when at all possible. Can you tell us which side of the street of Jody looks from the markings that this is the side without the sidewalk? So this question is asking which side of the road are we going to open up to lay the new pipe on Jody?
It should be the same side of the street as the existing water where you see the fire hydrants right now, unless of course we find something under the ground that makes us shift to the other side, but we should be on the same side of the streets as you see the fire hydrants currently.
Someone said, thank you. They didn't realize there would be so many crews working at the same time. Amazing. Yes, we definitely understand that this is an inconvenience and we want to minimize that inconvenience and we don't want to stretch this out. So we want to get in and out as quickly as possible, as safely as possible. North Druid Hills currently has construction on the Children's Hospital, as well as the apartments at the intersection of North Druid Hill and Holly Lane Northeast. Large amounts of traffic utilize Holly Lane over the Bramble IoT cut through for the La Vista. What are your plans for traffic mitigation, especially during rush hours? For example, I typically count 12 cars per light cycles in the evenings. Who cares to address that question?
I'll handle that. This is Alessandro again. Typically, when we do a project like that, we can easily accommodate local traffic, but cut through traffic and stuff like that, it will be impacted. And those people will learn to cut through a different way while we're in there. Just there's nothing you could do about it. We can't accommodate everybody using the neighborhood, but we can accommodate the local people who live there very easily. So we just encourage the cut through traffic to find another route for the time being.
And again, there will be traffic control there to keep out unnecessary cars, meaning that if there is a flagger there, that's not going to be a shortcut because they will have to wait on the flagger. So that should be something to detour people to other areas, to other streets to cut through. Also, there are a lot of cars parked on the street. Will you tow? We're going to communicate when we're going to be on the street. We're going to ask that all cars be removed from the street so that the construction crew can move through that street as quickly as possible. How will you address a vehicle that is there that has been asked to be removed, but we've not been able to communicate with the owner? How will we address that?
Typically, we make every effort to find the owner. You know, we're in the neighborhood with you every day, and we watch the cars, we watch the people, and we see who owns which vehicle. And you guys typically see the work zone. It's a 500-foot to 600-foot work zone that moves its way down the street. It's very obvious, when we're going to be in front of your house. So typically we don't have that problem. We find people, they move their cars, and I guess the absolute worst case scenario, we put the pipe around the car and keep on moving if we couldn't find somebody or we couldn't get the car moved. But if the county wanted to tow, that would be up to them. But I've never seen that happen in all my years of doing this. We usually find a way to get that car out of the way or go around it.
Next question, follow up for water pressure. Once the construction is complete, will our water pressure increase, decrease, or remain the same? Who cares to answer that question?
Typically, your water pressure is from head, the flow, the head pressure, or a pump station. It's not going to change. The volume will be more. It's a larger pipe and a lot cleaner, but the pressure shouldn't change too much. I mean, like the pressure in the lowest part of the county and like Stonecrest down there that can get up to 180 pounds of pressure. Dunwoody has hardly any pressure. It's high elevation. So you got pretty good pressure there, and it's probably not going to change much because of just the situation of the head pressure and pump stations.
Next question. I hear you say that water will not be turned off IoT place pipe in order to replace pipe unless there is an accidental line break. Is that correct? How frequently are lines accidentally hit? Any matrix you want to use is fine. Correct. They're not going to turn water off daily. They're going to turn water off. They're going to install pipe. They have to pressurize that pipe to test it. They have to sanitize that pipe, and then water will be turned off once they're ready to connect that pipe to the system. After the pipe has been connected, then comes the point to where every individual resident will have to be connected, and each resident will be connected one by one. There will be a small disconnection or interruption in service once each residential place is being connected. The team will definitely knock on your door and give you time, let you know that, hey, The window for your house to be interrupted will be this window and allow you an opportunity to complete what you're doing before they just disconnect your water. Did I answer that correctly, Monty? Or
Yes, you actually did. It was perfect. And it shouldn't take 15, 30 minutes to do. We'll have it like it's like the tie-in we do. We'll have everything prepped and ready. If we hadn't knocked on your door already, we'll definitely knock again. We'll keep knocking and make sure you're not in a shower, and try to let you know that we're just going to cut it off for a few minutes and connect you to the new water system.
please post the proposed schedule as is, understanding it is subject to weather and actual progress. We will attempt to put something up there to kind of give you an idea when we're going to be in the area. The team will look to see what's there, but yes, please note that it is subject to change. Next comment or question, also given that 48 to 72 hours notice is given for impacted water, etc., can we safely assume that the work beginning tomorrow will not affect our access to water? I would imagine that no water restriction or interruption will be done tomorrow. There'll be a lot of prep work tomorrow. There'll be a lot of getting people where they need to be, setting up, and then possibly locating and cutting in the exact areas. But I don't believe there's going to be any interruption of water on tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yeah,
That's
we're
correct.
just saw cutting tomorrow and locating the line where we're going to tap and start the water line on Thursday.
And just for a little more clarification, barring an accidental water hit, nobody should experience any kind of water disruption for at least 45 days. It's going to be at least that long before we get to that stage of starting to disrupt the individual streets.
Yeah, if you don't have water in the next 45 days, and you hadn't been notified, that just means we've had an accident and hit something unknown.
Can you please consider paving both sides of the road? That way it will look uniform. So the budget and schedule for this project does not yield the ability for us to pave the entire road. We will restore what we disturb, but that's all the ability that we have. We will rely on other projects to make the road whole, but this particular project does not yield itself the resources to pave the entire road. So my apologies for not being able to accommodate that. We do understand that you'd like fresh paved roads, but we will definitely work with other departments to see if and when we can put this on the schedule to be completely repaved. But unfortunately, this will not allow. Next comment or question. Again, Jody Lane, our sidewalks were installed in the past 15 years or so. Every time there's been a water leak, they have been taken out of the sidewalk. The hydrants are on the sidewalk side. Well, the sidewalks need to be removed.
Only sections to small sections to hook up the meters and install the new fire hydrants, and we'll replace that sidewalk that we removed.
Can you please repeat how long it takes per foot of pipe? I don't remember the metrics. We have an infant and both work from home. So 12 hours of construction is impactful for normal business and may need to make alternative arrangements for living and working. Thank you for this session, by the way. Appreciate it. Can you answer that, or anyone address that question?
I'll handle that. The individual disturbance per home is going to be minimal. You might hear us for approximately 2 weeks, and we might be directly in front of your house for 2 or 3 days. The operation is going to move approximately 150 feet a day. It's about a 500-foot long work zone. We'll start at one end of your road, and we'll just move down like a train. You'll see us coming. You'll know, it'll be very easy to tell, once we start your street, when we're going to be in front of your house, and we'll be on past there. When we're in front of your house, you'll have like a private valet that will come and check with you to see when you need to get in and out of your driveway that day. Make sure that you're always accommodated. Even if you get nervous, one of us will pull your vehicle out of your driveway for you. The impact will be very minimal. I know it sounds like a big deal, but once you see us move through there, it won't be much disturbance to each individual house. As the neighborhood as a whole, it's going to be disturbed for 6 months, but you'll see that the time in front of your house won't really be that much, and your individual disturbance will be quite minimal. You won't really notice us most of the time. I just want to add that not only am I the contractor, but I'm also your neighbor. I live right across the street on Berkeley Lane, right at the end of Berkeley Lane. If you have any problems or anything, you can just come walk down and see me. But we just went through this 2 years ago in our neighborhood, and we zip right through there, and the impact is a lot less than you think it's going to be.
And to that note, we say that there's going to be increased noise and construction activity, but can you describe to them the equipment itself, the engines on the equipment? They're extremely quiet. The loudest thing may be the saw cut. Can you describe for them what to expect in noise?
Well, you're right. The saw blade, though, we wet it down. It does make a good bit of noise. The every once in a while, the pounding of the dump trucks emptying stuff, it could be noisy, but it's not all day long. Maybe some rock busting or asphalt busting where we have to use a buster may be used. Again, this is not an everyday thing, so it can get noisy at times, but it's not continuous. Not the engines, of course, it's continuous, and we keep moving. The big pounding, big noises are just far and in between.
You begin in North Druid Hill and Holly Lane, Northeast, correct? We did not receive notice of construction yet.
What, going down Holly Lane, they all got notices. Now the North Druid Hills line, it don't start at Holly Lane. It's on up a little ways. So maybe that's what they're talking about. I'm not sure. We put door knockers out and signs out. We actually put door knockers out 2 times. We had to move the date back.
Next question. There are a lot of kids or children in the neighborhood who are very excited about this project. Lots of construction trucks. Are we encouraging or discouraging from watching from a safe distance the work that is being done?
From a safe distance, sometimes if I'm around, I'm a very friendly person. I'll keep them at a safe distance, especially the kids. I love the kids. I'll stand with them from a safe distance. We just got to stay with that construction zone. Our number one priority is safety.
Very good, thank you. This is from Deborah. The door knockers were placed on the front doors. Some people may not use front doors and may have missed the knockers.
That could be Yeah,
That is very
that could
true.
be true.
But
I would like to speak to that very briefly and just say that unfortunately, we cannot place the door hangers on mailboxes. We are prohibited from doing that. And so our only recourse is to place them on the front doors.
and at this time, there were no other questions in the chat. I do appreciate the attendance. I appreciate the concerns and the questions. They were very, very informative for the entire community. There's something else, sewer line question.
Director Hayes, there was a question that said, shall I assume this will not affect the sewer lines in any way?
It
And
should-
you are correct. It will not affect the sewer lines. This is a water project.
Thank you for fixing the water. You're very welcome. We're happy that we're able to come into your community and to make it better. This is a project that's been on our radar for some time, and we're excited to get it going, and we'll be more excited to complete it. We do understand that this will be a little inconveniencing, but it's a necessary growing pain, and we truly believe that this will be an experience that you won't mind once we're completed and we're done. So with that, again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and listening to us this evening. Thank you for the wonderful questions. And if there are any further questions, please address them to the website. All this information will be posted on the website. Again, we will provide a link to this recording so that everyone can have access to it. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and have a great evening. All right, team, great job. Thank you, guys. I think this was a very positive exchange of information, great questions, and I believe that we satisfied all concerns. So let's do what we say, and let's get in, get out, and make sure that we respect the community. Anything from
Great
you, Mary?
job, team. I removed everybody from the meeting. There was still some residents on, but I removed them from the meeting.
Stop recording.
And the recording, let's see if I can